episode of the Beyond the Cubicle podcast. I am one of your hosts, Brian Montgomery. Joining me, as always, one of my favorite people in the world.
Not quite as tall and good looking, but this is Eric Kelly.
Hey, you're close. If this is your first time listening to us, this podcast is about having an impact on your career mindset and spurring action, which will
give you the results you want.
Give you the results that you want. And so in doing so, we like to implement a 4-point philosophy / strategy called PIES.
Yes.
And real quick and real simply, P is for
performance.
And I is for
image.
E,
the exposure you need.
S,
spirituality, all of this, it better be based on.
Yes. If you want to get a more in-depth view of overview of what those are and kind of like some of the intricate details of what they entail, I encourage you to go back and listen to the first few episodes of our show. You can find that in our feed at SoundCloud or anywhere else that you get podcasts. A little other house cleaning. You can follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and we're on Twitter at This Is BTC. There you'll find a lot of posts that kind of deal with some motivation, some encouragement, a lot of things dealing with mindset and positivity and spirituality and things of that nature. Here on the show, we dive deep. We start giving you, tips, and we just have in-depth conversations on the various topics that have a impact on your career growth and your career success. We love to hear from you. You know, part of our goal here with this show is to encourage interactivity with our audience, right? And so we want to hear your stories. We want to hear your questions, any topics that you would like to discuss, any situations that you would like some insight or just another perspective on. We want to hear from you. You can do so by just hitting us up at the email podbtc@gmail.com. Or if you're on Instagram, just go to our profile and just hit the email button. It'll pull up your email app and you can just shoot us a note right there.
We will not put you on blast, but if you're struggling with something, why don't you let us answer it for you, do some research and come back, say asking for a friend, but don't sit there with a question you don't get answered. Just hit us up.
Right. So today's topic, work-life balance. I might go ahead and shoot this one in the foot right off the bat.
Balance.
You know what I'm saying? And look, I'm giving credit to my wife for this one because, a couple of months ago, like I was just kind of feeling a little overwhelmed, and, I was sharing that with my wife, and I guess you can say I had like a little mini breakdown. But one of the things that she told me straight up was like, there's no such thing as balance, right? And I was like, what? It was like, because we're just wired to think that you have to have things in their proper place and everything has to get equal time and equal attention. Well, basically what she broke down for me was when you're in the midst of trying to accomplish things, something is always going to take priority.
Yes.
And so technically there's never any real balance to it.
That's real.
And I was like, But what you can do is shift your focus and your energy based on the priority of the thing in that moment.
Exactly.
So what we want to do today is just talk about the importance of certain aspects of life outside of work that can help, quote unquote, give you a balance to your life. And so that you're trying to make sure that the things that are a priority in your life get the proper focus and attention, and how all that stuff kind of helps to boost your career.
Straight up.
So one of the things that before we started recording, the first thing that you threw out, which I absolutely loved, was what?
You need to take some time off to decompress for real.
Mm-hmm.
The work week is hectic.
Mm-hmm.
You need a day to decompress. Now, a lot of people of faith take a day for what they call communing and worship. So there's a lot of people that do that. Mm-hmm. But you need to take a day off and rest, because if you think about what you go through in a day, mm-hmm. You get up, you fight traffic in.
Yep.
You get cut off by the garbage truck, the cleaner's truck, the person that's putting on makeup, the guy listening to music with both headphones in his ear. You almost get hit 4 or 5 times. You get to work, you walk in, there's a pile of work. If you think about the stress that everybody goes through to go and work, they need a day at the end of the week. Close it down. I'm like, don't go shopping. There's too many humans at the mall running over you. Don't just chill. You need to decompress. Find a place of peace, safety, and exhale.
Right.
If you do that, you'll have more energy when you go back, and you'll definitely have more than the people who don't do that.
Take time to rest.
Got to do it.
And that's true, man. Rest is important because I feel like sometimes we don't give ourselves enough time just for us.
Oh, man.
There's always someone or something that is pulling our attention or that we feel requires our immediate attention in that moment, whether it be people and their issues, whether it be church, whether it be, families.
Social family.
Right, social family. Sometimes you just need to say, and this goes for even if you're married or if you're in a long-term relationship or something like that, I just need 4 hours. 4 hours just to not have to, just to not have to take care of your needs, not to have to take care of the kids' needs, not to have to take care of anybody else's needs but mine. And then in that time, if I find a quiet activity, and that goes for anybody, right? Any side of the relationship. No, I can rock with that. Rest is important.
It's important, but sometimes even on a daily basis, like I got a relative that's an audiophile, tremendous sense of music, headphones, equipment. I can't even.
Right.
And I know you know tech more than I do. Did you know that gold plugs make a difference in connectivity?
Yes.
Okay. I'm so like, are you serious?
Connectivity,
But killer setup, killer system, and he'll come in and just put his headphones on at the end of a stressful day and play his music. And when he takes them off and gets up, he's a much better person.
Wow.
So even in that,
that's rest for him.
It is, dude. I got one for you.
Go.
Tell me what you think about this one. You got to unplug. Now check this out with technology. In the olden days, I can say this. We had phones that didn't move.
Yeah.
Okay, they didn't move. They was heavy though.
Yeah.
Now, I'm so old. They had phones that ended up become murder weapons because that's how hard
the brick phones.
Yes. You can hit somebody in the head. They're gonna die. You're going to jail.
Right.
So now, no. They're plastic. But we had phones that didn't move, which means the only way I could communicate with you was that we were both at home or in the business at the same time.
Right.
And you did not have an expectation of me having to answer immediately.
True.
You might say, "Oh, he's out." Okay. Then we moved up to pagers.
1-800-SkyTel if you page me.
Now, all the B-boys had them. You're like, yeah, what y'all doing? Okay, y'all going to jail anyway. But they got pagers.
Right.
And now there was an expectation, hey, I paged you.
Yeah.
How did come you didn't call me back? Man, now we got phones. From the bag phone to that brick we used to carry.
Right.
To the flip phone.
Right.
Now dude, my watch has I can talk to you on my watch just like Dick Tracy did.
It's ridiculous.
But here's the expectation. You call me and you say, hey, E, I just hit you, man. How come you hit me back? And you're expecting within the next half an hour, you're going to hear my voice.
We've increased the access to humans.
And it's intrusive.
Yeah, we've increased the access to, we've increased the frequency of the access or something like that.
And now your boss expects that. So if you go to work and your boss hits you with an email or a text or a call, he or she expects you to call back or get back at them immediately. So with every technological advancement, so in order to chill and get out, I got to unplug, man.
So there's an importance. So in attempting to balance, quote unquote, there's an importance to rest. There's an importance to unplugging. I have another one.
Okay.
There's an importance to spending time with other humans.
Yeah. Yes.
That could be your spouse.
Yeah.
That could be the tiny humans called your children.
Oh, yes.
That could be your grandmother, your mother, your parents, your friends. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's an importance to it because having a relatively decent social life, right, allows you to decompress from the stresses of work. And maybe we should back up a little bit. The reason why we're talking about this is because sometimes we can get so bogged down in trying to achieve things in our careers that, we're too deep in the weeds.
Yep. And
I posted something on the Instagram feed in the last week that said, perspective matters, ... a lot. And sometimes in order to have perspective, and I was talking to a friend and I kind of gave him this analogy. Sometimes we're in the woods, right? And we're chopping weeds, we're chopping trees, we're kicking limbs, and we're just trying to fight to find the end of that journey, right? And sometimes we need that drone life, though. We need to be able to fly above the trees so that we can see the end to keep us having the proper perspective on why we're fighting through the jungle in the first place.
And sometimes those people in your social circle will kind of tell you, "Hey, dude, you're a little wired.
Yeah,
you need to
absolutely
dial it down a little bit."
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. So that's the reason for this topic, to allow us to be able to have and maintain a proper perspective on career, and to also give us a way to continue to have consistent progress towards reaching those goals. And so all the stuff that we're going to talk about, to me, adds value to your career journey because it can boost it by helping you maintain a proper perspective on it.
Yeah. Now, somebody might say, I don't believe you can have it all. I am not of that mindset.
Neither am I.
And I know we talked earlier about the higher power.
Yes.
But in my book that I read a lot that encourages me, I get the verse that says, I came that you have life and you have it abundantly. Now, this isn't the hereafter and the pearly streets, pearly gates and those streets of gold.
Right.
This is like while I'm walking around here on this ground,
absolutely,
I'm supposed to have a good life per what I read in that book. Doesn't mean I'm not going to have any ups and downs. But if I'm hanging on and getting connected to my higher power, we're going to be good with it. So I believe that you can have it all, but you need some kind of wisdom and guidance to your balance. You already talked about it. People that work 90 hours a week and do whatever, they're killing their families and they're killing their relationships.
Right.
And ultimately they won't be happy because even if they get a promotion, their home life is so out of whack that, and trust me, a promotion is empty when you have nothing else but that promotion.
Man, when your home life is not, if it's not moving in a positive direction, man, that can add so much additional stress to your career and your work life, where your performance can be impacted.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So there's an importance to spending time with other humans. And what we'll do after we kind of run down our quick list is, with the remaining time, we'll go through and kind of give our thoughts on some specific tips on how you can achieve some of these things, right? So the next one that I have is, after the importance of spending time with other humans, there's an importance to having your personal finances in order.
Absolutely.
And that's a weird one because people get funny about money. You know what I mean? And, you can say, well, that's why I'm going to work in the first place. Yeah, you are. But if you're not properly working towards managing your personal finances in a disciplined manner, again, that creates an additional stress on the job to have to perform, to have to keep it, to have to look for quick promotions, right? In order to make the money that you're not managing.
Yeah. We have, to quote Prophet Mo from the Three Stooges. Don't be stupid, you moron.
Don't be stupid, right.
Dude, if you're going to work and you're spending all the money you get, you got to work more. Then you run out and you got to get promoted.
Yep.
Because you don't have any cushion.
Right.
Now, here's the reality about finance, all of us. I've been through it. People have been through it. As Americans, we generally don't say we don't do cushion. Most of us live to the nth of our ability financially.
Right.
And that is the most stressful place you're going to be. Here's another tip I got. Your bosses at work can tell.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, yeah.
When they know, they pile it on you.
Man.
I was in an office. There was a single mom, worked really, really hard. But I remember the powers that be, the supervisor said, we can make her do anything. It was so abusive. All we have to do is dangle money. We can make her do anything. And you want to have a cushion where they can't make you do anything.
Right.
And it doesn't mean you're not going to have some rough times, but man, money is... That's another whole show.
That's all. Yeah. Oh, and it will be. We have a planned episode, on that. I remember I told you a few weeks ago we met some tremendous young ladies working here in Houston that help educate people on financial fitness.
Yeah.
And just planning for a future and that type of thing. So I actually want to get them on the show to kind of dive deeper into this topic.
Nice.
All right, the last one that I have on my list is there's an importance to having an outlet /hobby / activity outside of work.
Yes.
To devote some mental space to.
Yes. Most people have more than one talent and ability.
Oh, absolutely.
But we take one to work and we say, okay, that's it. No. Most of the folks that I know that are really okay, they have taken their extra talent and abilities and actually have created some alternative revenue streams. And there ain't nothing that makes you feel better and balanced when you're not getting all of your money from one place.
It's like a podcast, huh?
Absolutely. I feel another one coming on. I was talking to somebody and they were making fun of the people that sell stuff. Well, I don't sell stuff. Okay. There's only two people in the world.
Yeah.
Buyers and sellers.
Buyers and sellers.
So if you don't sell anything, you're a total consumer.
We all selling something.
We're selling something.
Yeah, it might not be a tangible thing, but we're all selling something.
And if you're not, you lost ball in high weeds.
Yeah.
So something else outside of work. I know some people that do volunteer work.
Yes.
At hospitals.
Yes.
They work with little kids. Man, they come back to work Monday. You could cuss at them. You could mistreat them. They got smiles. Good. Dude, you can't hurt them.
They're good.
And I also believe the higher power puts an extra cocoon around those that are out here doing something bigger than them just
bigger
for
than themselves. Absolutely.
Man, they come back in. They work at the hospitals. They have some sick kids. They had some tears. They have some hugs. Man, you talk to them on Monday. They'll light up your room.
Absolutely.
So all right. You got an outlet. Got it.
So again, we're talking about work-life balance, and the reason for this topic is sometimes we can get bogged down in focusing so much on trying to achieve in our careers that we can lose perspective a little bit, or our perspective can shift when we need to have a different focus. And so sometimes there are things that are outside of our career journey, outside of our work life, right, where we need to devote some attention and focus to and give priority to that can actually be a great benefit to our career journey. All right. And so we said there's an importance to rest.
Absolutely.
There's an importance to spending time with other humans. I just like saying humans. There's an importance to having your personal finances in order.
Yes.
And there's an importance to having another outlet or hobby outside of the talent that you use for your work per se.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So we have a few minutes left, and what we kind of want to do is just give a couple of suggested tips on, how you can shift your focus and focus on some of these things, right? Some practical tips. That's our thing, practicality. Okay. So rest. Give me one of your top tips in how you would suggest somebody to get in the mindset of resting.
Okay. There is a lot of people of faith that go to church on the weekends. I want to unplug from a concept. I'm not talking about going to church. I am talking about a day that you shut it off.
Right.
When you shut it off and you rest, you let your mind go down. And when I do that, there's a lot of spirituality connectivity. There's meditation. There's the exhale. I'm not worrying about Monday's problems because Monday's not here yet.
Right.
I'm very thankful that I made it through last week and all the craziness.
Mm-hmm.
And then I add my people in. I call you, I call my buddies, and I say, hey, how are you guys doing? And we get some laughs and we get some chuckles. And I kind of shed, if a thought of work comes up, I kind of shed that thought. Mm-hmm. I need to totally let it go. Now, it's going to be there. I know it's going to be there, but me worrying about it for 7 days won't help me fix it in 5.
Right.
So I let it stay there, and I'm going to enjoy it. And then Sunday night, dreaded like all of us do. We go, okay, here's Monday. What do I have to do? But I will have given myself a full day's rest. And yes, you are rejuvenated, and yeah, you are definitely ready to pick up stronger than other people who don't get that rest.
Got you. I'm going to take the next one. I forgot to add that there's an importance to unplugging.
Yes.
Right. So I think what I can do for this next one, though, I'll give you my top tip because it actually combines the two. So there's an importance to spending time with other humans. Now, the way that you can, the practical tip there to make sure that you can devote the proper focus and attention to spending time with these other humans is, one, be diligent and purposeful in selecting an activity that will allow you to spend quality time. And when you do that, unplug.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Right.
So when you're going out, hanging out with whoever it is,
Unplug.
pull everything else
Yeah.
up.
You know, unless you need your phone to kind of find an argument for why LeBron James is the greatest player of all time, then you know
that's gonna be rough for somebody listening to this.
You know what I'm saying? You can unplug.
Yeah.
All right, how about you take the next one? Your top tip. Importance of having your personal finances in order.
Man, the number one stressor is money. Now, I got to give you this one, and this is learning, challenging, whatever. I remember wanting so much stuff. I would see it, I want it. I would see it, I would want it. I would see it, I want it. I'm now at a point now, and I'm blessed. There's nothing out there that I see that I really just have to have. Now, if God puts a Bentley in my driveway,
Right.
I'm probably going to start it up.
Right.
But I'm okay.
I'll get you.
And I'm not mad if you have a Bentley. I'm like, dude, take me for a ride. Let's hang out. The jealousy thing is gone because I think we're evolving as God leads into a higher purpose. So the issue with finances is cut down the I have to haves and be a little bit more focused on what's absolutely essential. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to find out there's not that much that's super essential.
Gotcha.
You know, it's just not, ladies buy the outfits, we buy the bigger toys.
Yes.
We're talking about spending money. You know, my wife's going to be sharp. She's going to have this, and this. I don't know what a designer is. So, just call me country or slow. I don't know what a designer is. She can quote them.
Gotcha.
But when I spend money, I'm buying big toys.
Yes.
She's buying little stuff.
Yeah.
And there needs to be a happy medium for both of us. It's going to help our relationship. And I can go to work and say, you know what? If y'all don't want me here, I'm out. And I'm not begging for bread that next weekend.
Last one, the importance of having an outlet or a hobby.
Oh, yeah.
Top tip here, figure out something else outside of your career that can bring you some level of satisfaction and devote a few hours on the weekend to do that thing and be purposeful in setting aside time to focus on that and do that. So, this has been another episode of the Beyond the Cubicle podcast. This was a good one. It was quick, but it was a good one. Sometimes there's no need to really linger and go super roundabout on topics, and I like that. This was one on work-life balance and the importance of giving your attention and focus to other things outside of your career journey in order to maintain a proper perspective on your career. And in doing those things, you have the potential to boost your career even more.
Absolutely.
Hey, for Eric Kelly, I'm Brian Montgomery. We will see y'all on the next episode.